Hey game makers! Welcome to the Where in the World Did September Go? Devlog for Gaia's Melody Echoed Memories Do. So what I've been working on this past month is all of the art collectibles in the game. Now in the original, you could collect 36 different illustrations throughout the game. 13 of these were hero bio cards, which just have an image of a character and some information about them. 4, I believe, of them were, I guess what I would call ship tease illustrations. And the rest of them were mostly just either fan service pics or cool things I felt like drawing. Now, I'm not going to show all of them off in this video, so, feel free to not be spoiled. But I will be showing a couple of them, so if you absolutely don't want to see what they look like, but still want to watch the video, I'd just go to a different tab and look up other pretty illustrations and pretend you're seeing what I'm talking about. And if you don't want any information at all about these, since they're collectibles and that kind of defeats the point of collecting them all, you can feel free to leave a like and skedaddle. Okay, so I'm gonna go over a couple things that I wanted to note about the pictures themselves. As far as the character bios go, I'm actually gonna bring up a comparison for Doken. There you are, Doken. He's probably the least spoilery of these. If you've played the original, you kind of get what's going on here. Why did I open 2 of those? So... what number was he? 10? 10. So outside of some obvious changes to everything, most of the info on the side is the same. Some of it's been rewritten, I changed some grammar things. That's basically it. Everything's obviously updated to the new art style. The style I'm going for the chibi is actually on the left here. They're actually based on a doodle that I did way back in high school that I found amongst all of my notebooks. And I'm like, that's cute, let's do that! So I used that one as kind of a base for all of the designs here. You'll also notice I took away the original GM1 character costumes designs on here. Partially because I ran out of space. I wanted to make these take up most of the space, and they kind of got big. So I ended up just not doing those. And partially to save on time, because that's a lot of extra drawing for no real reason. I just did it originally because I figured why not, but this time around, I like this kind of design better. It works well. Another one I'm gonna show off, because I know there's one of you out there that likes this character quite a bit. Who are you? These are the originals. I just don't want to show you all of them, but I can't remember off the top of my head what all the numbers are. 2, okay. So, 2 comes after 1. Tara here. She's actually my favorite chibi. She turned out really cute, and I really love her. They're all they've got this I don't know, 90s, maybe early 2000s bug eye thing going on. They're super huge. But I think she turned out really cute. Another thing I updated is their quotes, because in the original, I did these super early. It was one of the first... I don't really think it was one of the first things I did, but I intended to have these in, so I wrote stuff up for them. And their quotes made no sense. Some of them make sense, Akira's here. Akira's is, or something. Hers was huh, I think. Because she says huh so much. And the funny thing is, I completely forgot that I had that as a quote until I was doing these up, and I'm like, oh, that is her quote. Okay, that's why I use it so much. But, so I updated some of their quotes, since some of them were just nonsense. I don't even think some of these characters said those lines at all in the game. Oh, I can't remember any of them, but, Doken's I don't think ever got said. Whip's was accurate. Akira's were accurate. Zephyr's were accurate. I can't remember what Kazumi's, Niki's, or Miki's were, so they probably weren't accurate at all. So they've been updated with, at the very least, quotes from GM EM. She says this a lot, or at least a couple times in that game, and I didn't really have any other defining quotes for Tara specifically. So that's kind of what I went with. And I also changed some of their likes and dislikes. I think I kept all of their favorite colors, but I don't remember the reasoning I did those. Oh, another funny one, actually, is Nikki. Nikki, where are you? Nikki. So, Nikki, on the original, her favorite color is orange. Now, I've made it a point to say that, at least in some throwaway line of NPC dialogue, that the Kitsune race can't see color, they're all colorblind. Haha, because I'm colorblind. Now, unlike me, they're completely colorblind, they can't see color at all. Kachi's the exception because she's a happy. But, these two, Miki and Nikki, can't see color. It's a thing. But his I have listed as gray. That makes sense. He sees in black and white. Hers is listed as orange for some reason. I have no idea why. But I was thinking about it, and I'll show off their new art, because they're pretty tame to sit and eat. So, there you go. Quick note about Nikki's, I actually have to fix her sprites, because they don't have hats. I guess I forgot her hat on her Battler sprite, and I think her Overworld sprite, so I have to go and add a hat. It's on my list! It's on my to-do list! I have a to-do list with add hat to Nikki on it. But, so, I was thinking about it, of why I gave her favorite color orange, because there was a reason. I don't make arbitrary decisions like that. I don't make arbitrary decisions like that. I cannot say that at all. For stuff like that, I thoroughly think through most of this, except for quotes, apparently, but, I'm thinking what it was at some point, someone either said she looked cute in orange, or Kachi said, you know, just pick a favorite color and go with orange, or something. Like, I feel like that's what happened. She either got complimented because of the color, and she's like, oh, that's my favorite color now! Or I don't remember when you get this bromide, but if it's after you meet Nora, I guess, it could have been because of that too, because Nora's hair is orange, it might have come up in conversation, I don't know. I just feel like that's probably why I went with that. And then Miki, if the case was them being like, we'll just pick a color, so I can put it on the bromide, Miki would have just been like, whatever, gray's my favorite color, I don't care what you think. So I kind of think, like, that's why I went with orange, that's why I kept it anyway. I feel like that's what happened there. I was just very confused right off the bat why I went with that. I have no idea. Another one I think I'm gonna show off, because someone wanted to see the art for Zephyr, is him. He's 12, I think? He's easy to remember, because he's right at the bottom, but before Annika. His hair is just so foofy! It's really got that, like, 90s... I don't know, I guess, like, Pokemon, Dragon Ball era hair, where it's just all, like, all over the place. In the chibi art, anyway. It's got his little hair wing, hamster ear things, I don't know. But, so that's his art. I don't really have anything specific to say about him. It's cute, I like it. I think I had to shorten his line of text because it didn't fit on here. But that's about all for him. I don't really have anything else to say about him. Just that he has foofy hair. Okay, so, you might have noticed that some of those bromides look the same. I'm using the term bromide from Lunar. It's, after some research, basically a Japanese term that refers to images of, like, celebrities or important people and stuff like that, I think. It also refers to some sort of printed thing on a specific type of paper or something. For the purposes of this, I'm probably just going to refer to them as bromides, just because I default to that word now. Lunar! Lunar, Silver Star Story, and Eternal Blue are the ones I'm talking about. They're PlayStation games. Some of my favorites, even though the dungeon design and dungeons... I thought my dungeons were bad. Then I remembered Lunar! I love Lunar, I do. Just not their dungeons. Okay, anyway, enough ranting about other games. Anyway, back to the point. Some of the designs I kept the same, like Tara's, I think, is pretty close to her new one. Sort of, maybe not, I don't know. But as far as the entirety of the bromides go, some of them are completely redrawn. But with the same sort of design. Like, I'll show you. You got Akira here in her little swimsuit, because that's appropriate fan service for this kind of game. What number is that? 19? So I ended up redrawing this one, but I kept the same idea. So it's similar, just with the updated art style. Ta-da! Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm using this one in the thumbnail, because any video where I put boobs in the thumbnail, YouTube wants to demonetize. So we're going with cute, happy swimsuit beach time. So this is one that obviously has gotten kind of a facelift. It's completely redrawn, but it's the same sort of idea. And I also had to redo, well, all of the designs of these to some extent or another, just based on I'm doing, well, you can see these are 640 by 480. This is like 69 aspect ratio. So they're all in widescreen, and I have to kind of adjust for that just to begin with, so I figured, let's just redo everything! Obviously, my art's improved since 2013 when I drew these, so that's kind of important. But, let's see, Tara's also, this is one I'd consider not completely the same. It's sort of the same, but if anything, I'd say it's from a different camera angle. 21, Tara. I'm hoping this isn't too hot for YouTube! It doesn't like when I do fan servicey stuff. It wants to yell at me. But, anyway. This is, the Tara one. As you can see, it's, where is that? You. She's not entirely anorexic now. And it's from yeah, it's a bit different angle. And her sunglasses are on her head, because I could not for the life of me get those to line up right. I'm also only showing you the lower quality versions. These, are the ones that will appear in game. They fit the screen words. They fit the screen size. But I'll also be providing full resolution copies that are like ridiculously big for no real reason. So they'll probably be provided as DLC or something like that. Let's see, what are some other ones? Some of them just got, like, I use the original more as a base than an example. The ones that I liked on here from the originals are the ones that kind of stayed more or less the same. They got a facelift. I'm not gonna bother showing you that one. They're basically the originals, but with... Well, I wouldn't go that far, because they are all redrawn. They're just in the same vein, I guess. Sure, 23. But yeah, so some of them are basically we're not saying basically! I've gotta stop with the basically! Basically is annoying me so much. I hear it everywhere now, and I just die inside whenever I hear the word basically now. Basically. So, these are basic. Gotta stop that! The same sort of deal, just with different... I guess you could say I used the original as kind of a sketch, and then went with that. But again, I had to adjust for the aspect ratio, and it's pretty much... yeah, I don't know. But that's one of the ones that are more or less the same. Because I liked it. I didn't like, well, I wouldn't go with I didn't like, but I felt I could do these two better, and I felt I could do some of the other ones better, but for this one, and I think this one, and a couple others. I just like them. They're cute. So they all got redesigned to some extent, but I kept them more as they are, as opposed to completely changing the camera angle or doing anything like that. In addition to those, some of them actually got completely nixed. For example, Airship Volleyball, which is my least favorite bromide from the original. And so bad I'm not even gonna show you it. But the story behind most of these bromides, possibly all of them, I don't remember, is I'm like talking to my brother, Valencia Games over there, and he's all like, hey, you should have collectible art bromides in your game. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? Oh, well, you should do beach pictures and hot spring pictures and school pictures. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's do that. And then I'm like, okay, but I want a couple more, so give me ideas. So he's like, Airship Volleyball! And I'm like, what the crap is Airship Volleyball? He's like, they're playing volleyball on an airship. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. So that's where that one came from. But, I think that's just a little too silly now. Also, I had no desire to draw my characters in, like, Japanese PE outfits. I don't know. I guess that's what I was going for. I have no idea. So we got a completely new bromide that I'm not going to show you, because it's actually one of my favorites. And I think Narora, one of them. Now that being said, the way you get this bromide is also going to be different, just based on the nature of the bromide. It's not a fan service bromide, it's actually a really cute, wholesome picture with two of my favorite characters. It's actually a bromide that takes place, I guess, in the first game's time frame, which is different than, well, I guess technically this one takes place before Terralals happens. In any case, it is one of my favorites, and I'm super proud of how it turned out. I'm very happy with it. One of the other ones that got completely redrawn that I want to talk about, just because I think it's important, is this little Hot Springs one. Now, I don't mind showing this one because it's the most non-risque thing in the world. Like, I went out of my way, like, I forget, it's near the end, so I'm assuming I went with, I want 36 pictures, so tell me more, Oni-chan. So, he's probably was like, I don't remember exactly, I'm just assuming this is probably how it went. Hey, draw a Hot Springs picture because Lunar had them! Okay, but I don't want to put too much risque in my game, and that's a little too much risque. So, I decided to make it the least, for lack of a better term, over-sexualized, because you know how anime and games are with that, thing in the world. Like, this is, like, the most appropriate Hot Springs thing I've ever seen. Yeah, I didn't go with that this time around. I'm not gonna show you the new one, because it's a lot. It's still what I would consider appropriate. It's got comedic censoring, and by comedic, I mean incredibly comedic. I've got little chibis holding censor bars over the picture. I wouldn't say it's, like, sexualized at all. It's got nudity. Tasteful, mostly tasteful nudity. But it's just, like... It brings up the question, how sexy is too sexy, almost. As far as Steam goes, Steam doesn't seem to care what you post on Steam anymore, so that should be fine. But just as an overall player, it's like, I don't have a problem with it, kind of thing, and I don't think anyone who's ever been exposed to anime or games or life would have a problem with it, kind of thing. But, it is just one of those things, you know? It's definitely the most risque picture on here, but it's not, like, really perverse or anything like that. I would deem it as appropriate enough for this kind of game. Like, this is definitely less of a childish game than the first one, just based on its overall content. And I, generally speaking, for games and stuff, try to keep my, you know, fan service to a reasonable, tasteful level of fan service. But I thought it'd just be a fun little thing to do, so I kind of went with it and figured, why not? So, we'll see how that goes. Because me likes me some fan service. This video is getting awkward. Okay, so... one of the ones I showed off on Twitter, actually, is, 32 is down here. Woo! Is this one. Now, I don't mind showing this one at all, because this is kind of a poster for the game, is what I was going for. In-game, it's sort of that, so it's kind of what I went with here. Now, because I was going widescreen, I couldn't exactly do the same thing that I did with the other one, but I did keep all of their sort of poses the same. Goodbye, Tasteful Hot Springs. But yeah, I didn't want to make them all wide or vertical like this, so I ended up going with something more like this. I kept her overall pose the same, and I did that for pretty much all of the characters on here, but I had to rework it into this aspect ratio. And I went with a more red thing, because colors in this are... I don't know. I have no idea what I was going for here. And Catchy's eyes, they're just like... Well, it doesn't look as bad when you're zooming it in, but it's just like so derp. Her eyes are just so derp. They're even a little... Wait, she doesn't have a mouth thingy on here. Because normally she has a mouth like this. Huh. Maybe I should change that. Anyway, the things you notice. I feel like this whole video is just gonna be me talking over pictures. Maybe I'll splice in some, like, actual game footage or something. That's why I haven't been able to post anything, because I've been drawing this entire time. I was considering posting speed draws, but the last time I tried to record a speed draw, my recorder actually conked out on me and just, like, froze the frame for, like, 3 hours, so I was not really feeling doing that. Plus, my computer has enough problems doing pictures this big anyway when I'm not recording, so I just ended up pretty much doing a write-off month as far as videos, because I wanted to get these all done. Now, I'm also going to be including tentatively 15 additional pictures for the epilogue quest, because in the original it just kind of stopped and that was that. But we're adding in a extender for the gallery, so I can actually add those pictures in after you get to that point. I didn't want the player to, you know, get to the end of the quote-unquote game and be like, okay, well, it says there are like 40 pictures, but I've only got 36 of them, where are the ones that I'm missing? So, with the extender in, I can do that. So I can just extend it plus 15 pictures, and it's no problem. I don't have those ones done yet. I've only got 37 of them. I did one of them. It's actually the first picture that I did trying to do this. These pictures are pretty much gonna include a couple of ship cards, like the other, like the couple ones and the extra character ones. This is one of the original ones. It's Odyssey and Friends! So it's just little chibi arts with some of the characters. Now, these ones that are here are all protagonists plus Echo. And character ships throughout the game. The ones in the epilogue quest are going to include characters involving the protagonists that didn't get art in the originals, which includes the characters that either got in relationships with NPCs, or their relationships weren't established until the epilogue quest themselves. Or, I guess in one case, weren't really established and more just implied that it was going to happen or something. So they're probably going to get bromide art, or, the ship card art. Ship cheese art! Yay! It's fun for me, so I draw them. That's why they're here. But some of them did get kind of shafted, so they're gonna get stuff. In the same vein as some of them, I also think I'm gonna do full art, couple art for the couples involving the protagonist characters. I don't think I'm gonna do any with the NPCs, so they're kind of getting shafted a bit. But, they're just overall less fun for me to draw. That's it. I like the characters well enough, I just don't draw them enough to want to do tons of art for them. That's why Akira ends up in so many of my pictures. She's just easy for me to draw. Now, there are a couple other ideas I have for art, but, I don't want to go over those just yet. They're a little more in-depth to explain. In addition, I'm thinking of 3 final, bromides, actually hero bio cards involving the characters of my I guess more the avatars of my main 3-person team here, which is me, my programmer guy, Sally and Efo, and Valencia Games, who's my gives me computer parts when mine break guy. Both very, very valuable to my process. So I'm thinking at the end of the game in GMAE, in GM2, you could go and visit me and programmer guy who was sitting across from me and yelling out code for some reason. But you could fight me at level 99, full strength, and it's a fun battle. And I was thinking of having a reward for that being the bio card for Echo 607. In addition, I was thinking for the other two, for Sally and Efo and Valencia Games, having dungeons for them, like post-game dungeons you can just wander upon. You get to the end of them. I don't know what they'll be. I'm just thinking about this now. It's not like a planned thing 100%. But then you'd fight both of them separately in their own areas, and then you'd get the bromide for them, just as a kind of culminating collection thing. Because post-game stuff's always fun, and everyone's all, oh, I need to use my level 99 characters to do a thing! I've gotta fight a super boss and, you know, whatever, I don't know. But, since the original game did have a super Echo boss, I thought it might be fun for this one. It's also kind of late and my voice is a little shot, so I'm not speaking quite as, hypey as I normally would.
Now before I go off on another tangent, that's all for the picture-related stuff. So I'm gonna end this one here. We'll post the continuation tomorrow. So thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you later, gamers!